Hi, my name is Dan Crable. I've been an entrepreneur now for 25 years. Yeah, I'm getting pretty stinking old. So, the reason I want to create this channel is this is my way of giving back. I had people give to me when I was young in entrepreneurship. A gentleman named Mr. Larry, we used to call him. What a great guy, great man of God, first of all. And, he was basically had a sixth grade education. People said he go nowhere. He was in a padded cell. His wife Shirley was reading to him, reading the Bible to him. And then fast forward, he turns about 38 years old, comes out, starts his own roofing business, and grows into a multi-million-dollar roofing company. But someone had to believe in him, and he believed in me. When I was 18 years old, and I'd go in and I'd wash his trucks, and I'd do them for free just so I could spend time with him. But if I didn't have people like him in my life, I don't know where I'd be at today. But let me just tell you a little bit about my story and a little bit how we're going to explore things of entrepreneurship. And listen, I don't care if you're just trying to get $500 for a girl's dance recital or for baseball lessons for your son. It doesn't matter. It's all entrepreneurship. And what I've seen out there in today's world, they're all like, hey, once you make $1 million a year in gross revenue, come talk to me. We're going to help you grow. And that's great, but how they get there? And that's very intimidating for a lot of people. So what I'm really trying to do is help the small entrepreneurs. Again, whether it's trying to make $500 or you have a company that makes $500,000. How do we kind of go to that next level? So a little bit about my story. Ever since I was 18 years old, I knew I was going to go into sales. So what I did is I just started hanging around people that were older than me and more experienced than me. There's a saying out there I've heard ever since I was 18. It says, if you want to see your future, look at your friends. And I used to play tennis with a chiropractor when I was younger. I was hung out with older people, more successful people, because I wanted to be them. So that's how I started my path. And man, let me just tell you something. I was real successful my first couple of years. I went through 7 jobs in 2.5 years. And I had a baby and was married. It was crazy times. It was rough times. I remember we'd have baby powder and it would get spilled onto the island. And dude, we'd have a little food scraper. We'd spill some powder on the island and we would scrape it off into there because I was like, dude, we can't waste this. This stuff is like powdered gold. It was. Those were some fun times. And we did these things together. And I have to give full credit to my wife. Been married for 28 years, I believe, here in May. 3 boys. So, we've been through quite a lot raising those kids, that's for sure. But I remember I was trying to be a recruiter in the .com bust. And my wife, I was like, I'm done. I'm going corporate. And I was like, give it one more shot. So I had this gentleman named Mark came to me and goes, hey, man, I think you're a good sales guy, but I think you're in the wrong industry. So I ended up working for him. Long story short, became a VP in his company. And then I think it's about 15 years into it, me and launched a company called IntelliVoice, which we grew to 40,000 endpoints. We had 2 offices in Texas and in Baltimore. Ended up successfully exiting the company about 5 years ago. And that's going to be a whole different thing to unpack with you about selling your company. A lot of things that go into that, that's for sure. Both good and bad. So let's dive into this a little bit and let's just talk about some of the psychological games that we play with being inside of entrepreneurship. So some of the reasons why I want to talk about the psychological things, because let me just tell you my own journey of just getting to the point of me doing this video. I have just felt like the Lord wanted me to do this video for about over a year now. And I bet you I spent 30 days procrastinating getting this done. And I know it's the same thing you guys should be going through when you're looking at it. I don't care if you've been making dolls. I use that because we have a friend of ours. She was making these, I think they're Pokemon dolls. I was like, what are you doing? She goes, I'm sewing together these dolls and I go and sell them. I'm like, oh, that's cool. What do they sell for? And she's like, $120. I'm like, $120 for those things? Are you nuts? But she gets it all day long. It's great. It's just a form of entrepreneurship for her to raise some money, for her to do some extracurricular things because she's a teacher. So we start looking at this. We have a little saying here. It says, acknowledge your emotions, but don't let your emotions drive your actions. Because if you do, you'll go nowhere. Just like it took me 30 days to get this one video done. Because I'm like, first of all, I'm all school, Gen X. I got an old soul, even as my kids would say. And I kind of did things the old-fashioned way and grow my company. So this is kind of all new for me, even for me to get out here. But this is my way of paying it forward. We moved up here to Omaha, Nebraska about, gosh, man, it's almost been a year. So we moved here last July. We're here right for July 4th. And been sitting here working out different things that I want to do, trying some different things, learning a lot of things along the way. But in the midst of all that, I always say if the devil can't beat you, he'll isolate you. And that's kind of what happened. I got isolated. As entrepreneurs, that's what you'll tend to do is isolate yourself. But I found out being around a community, getting involved, gets those juices flowing. So going back to the psychological things, this is Nike would say, just do it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You're no better off than when you are now. So the worst thing I can do on making this video is I'm where I was a year ago, 6 months ago, 30 days, a day ago. It doesn't hurt me. But man, my goal is to help one person. That's my goal. I just want to pay this forward as we talk about this. So my biggest word of encouragement is, man, just do it. You go, but what do I do? Well, let's find out something either you're excited about, something you like to do, something you're good at. And then let's start forming a business model over it. Now, guys, we don't have to overcomplicate this. I think a lot of times people go, what do you mean form a business model or a business plan? What do you mean? Doing a business plan? Pretty simple. First and foremost, Bible says a man without a vision will perish. So let's write down our vision. Okay, let's figure out where we're going to go. So let's just say you want to make $500 a month to help your daughter get ready to go to ballet lessons. We'll just pick that one. I don't have a daughter, so maybe I'm just kind of vicariously trying to have my YouTube daughter or something, I guess so. But anyway, you want to get your daughter to have ballet lessons. Let's say you're good at sewing, okay? Let's say you're great at making Afghans, or let's say, I guess you don't sew Afghans, maybe stitch Afghans, I don't know. What's a quilt? Sewing a quilt. My wife's probably like earlier going, my Lord, what is he talking about? So let's say you want to make a quilt. You're good at making quilts. Dude, quilts can go for a lot of money, right? So do a little market research. Like go online and say, okay, average handmade quilt, it's $300. Right? Then start researching how long it's going to take you to make that quilt. And then you can start looking at your price point. So now the formula of business plan is real simple. You got a vision. I'll make $500 for my girl to go to ballet classes. I'm going to quilt. I'm going to do some research and say, okay, we're selling for $300. Great. Then you're going to go do some more research to find out how much a fabric's going to cost me. Where can I source the best fabrics? Amazon, Michaels, Hobby Lobby. All your materials, put your material list together. And then you have a budget. So you've come up with a budget and go, okay, it's going to cost me $100 materials. I sell for $300, so it takes me 8 hours to make the thing. And then you just go out, and then selling it, in my mind, is really the easy part because you can go into Facebook, you can go into all types of online stores that are out there that sell this. Etsy would be a great one. And if it's me personally, if let's say their average is selling for $300, sell your first one for $250. You just want to get out there and get a win. And then watch what that does to your own psychological confidence. That'll drive it up. And you can always up your price. My biggest thing is you never really want to lower your price. But man, if you come in low, because I know especially the girl who was doing the Pokemon dolls, dude, she started out at 80 and now she's 120. And she's realized, wow, it's taking me a lot longer to make this. Like my time is worth more than what I'm charging right now. So now she charges 120 and she's getting it. But now she has some of a following. They're all looking for them. They sell out quick. So you can always raise your price. So that would be the best way of how you get started. You've just written your simple business plan. You got a vision for what you want to do. You went out and did some research, some R&D, research and development, right? Figured out what your costs were going to be. That's your COG, cost of goods. And now you have your product. So now you're going to make your product and you're going to sell your product. Done. Your business plan's done. Simple as that. Don't have to get all complex. Now listen, if we were going to roll up a pest control company, there's lots more things you got to take into consideration. But for right now, we're just going to focus on that. So hopefully that helped you. And hopefully that'll get you started. So I look forward to coming back, talking about a lot more things I've learned, share some stories with you. I'm going to have some guests on. We're going to talk about this. But the one mantra that I live by is I'd rather be a wet water walker than a dry boat sitter. And that comes from when Peter got out of the boat to walk to Jesus. Dude, all the other ones stayed in the boat. So don't be the one staying in a boat. Get out and be that wet water walker. All right. Till next time, hit that like, subscribe button. Post in the comments any questions. There's a great chance I'll answer those questions because right now I don't have anybody subscribed. This is the first video. So help me out, make me feel good, and I look forward to the next video. Thanks. Have a great day.